We always speak about overpowered anime characters, but what do you get when an anime character goes to his or her highest potential? That's right, you get a god. So as a tribute to every anime god who had a chance to become the protagonist of their own anime, here's 10 anime where the main character is a god. Let's get started. Number 10, Heroic Aid.
黄金の種族は彼らを鉄の種族と名付けた。
When speaking about gods and other powerful deities in fantasy stories, we always get a rather popular trope, the chosen one. Here, the universe is controlled by tribes, bronze, silver, iron, and heroic tribes. But all tribes are not benevolent entities. Soon, humanity began to suffer from these tribes, and one princess needs to find their savior. One man who is said to save humankind. From the synopsis itself, you can tell this anime has the epic scope when handling its narrative, and trust me, it won't disappoint you in that regard. The main character has the powers of a god, so you can expect some cool action scenes as well. One overpowered hero stands up against the cruel tyranny of the world. Tell me a better story to binge watch if you need some good anime. Number 9, Utaware Ramuno.
Oh my god.
Remember Plunderer, where a guy behind a mask turned out to be an overpowered hero? This time, the guy behind the mask turns out to be a god. The anime follows Hakuro, who's rescued by a village family, and soon learns about the threat of the Emperor in the village. A rebellion ensues, and Hakuro fights against the Emperor to protect the villages from his rule. The main mystery of this show is Hakuro, a boy with an unremovable mask who also has the powers of a divine being, and also involves a story arc where he uncovers mysteries about his past. Being an old anime, this doesn't survive on the regular power fantasy cliches, and as a bonus, you get a harem done right as well. Number 8, Gin no Guardian. The story of the class conflict and the themes of rich and poor will never get old in any creative work, and anime being anime likes to exaggerate this to create a more interesting plot. Gin no Guardian happens in Shinro Private Academy, where the rich students can just study and the poor ones have to do all the dirty work. Sugen Rikyu is such a poor boy, who happens to meet the most popular girl in the entire school, and also to know that she's also playing the same online RPG game as him. A love blossoms, and when the old game is shut down, the two find solace by playing a new RPG game. So, the moral of the story? With divine power, you get the attention of the most popular girl in school and can fall in love with her. Now, hope you'll get reincarnated as a god in your next life. Number 7, Noragami. Now, just because you're a god doesn't mean you're overpowered and have a huge popular fan base. Take Yato for example. He's a god who doesn't even have his own shrine, much less a gathering of followers. The story begins when Hiyori Iki learns that her soul leaves her body after an accident. Here she discovers the existence of parallel worlds named as the Near Shore and Far Shore, where human souls and demons reside. Now she teams up with a god named Yato, who's a nameless god without his own shrine. They're soon joined by Yukine, a boy who can transform into a weapon, and the anime follows the trio's adventures. Noragami is a fun comedy supernatural anime that also has its rather emotional and dark moments as well. Number 6, Kamisama Kazao.
もしかしてこいつ俺が降りてくるの待ってたそんでもってチンしたり食器の片付けとかしようと思ってた
Here we have not just a god, but a family of gods. Samatarao is not just an average high school boy. He's a boy who's soon about to become a god. His father and mother are gods, and his sisters are godly candidates as well. He needs to learn how to be a better god, or else he'll lose his position. Seems easy, right? Not when the transfer student Kumiko appears in his school. Samatarao soon develops a strange obsession with the student, and will he be able to achieve godhood while in love with a mortal? You'll have to watch the anime to find out. Don't expect a lot of action, but expect a lot of laughs and heartwarming romance. Number 5. Misfit Demon King.
まったく世話の焼ける奴らだ。
This got popular as the biggest power fantasy of 2020, and it's no surprise it got the title. You've got a demon lord who kills his opponents, resurrects them back to life, and kills them again in the very first episode. So, the main character here is not just regular overpowered, but he has the ability to snap his fingers and kill people, bring back souls from the dead, and even kill a whole army without breaking a sweat. If you need some power fantasy with a great main character, then this would be a great addition to your watchlist. Anos will surprise you with his power over and over again, and even the toughest opponents find trouble facing him when the man is at the peak of his power. Not only Anos has enough demon power to destroy the world, he's also the strongest demon king in the world. Number 4. Devil is a part-timer. This time we have a reverse of the regular isekai formula. Sadao Mao was a devil in a fantasy world who got accidentally reincarnated into our world moments before his defeat. Like saying himself, he has the control of absolute demonic power, which is the strongest magical power in the world. Besides his demonic strength and agility, Sadao Mao possesses mind control, hypnosis, and telekinetic powers, making him one of the strongest sentient beings out there. He has sleep spells that can make an entire city slumber and time alteration powers that can stop time. We always talk about gods in fantasy worlds, so watch this anime to find out what it's like to have a god in our world. Number 3. Haruhi Suzumiya.
これ、笑うとこ。えらい美人そこにいた。
This young teenage girl has the power to literally create or destroy another reality, so I can't ignore her from the list. Unlike many others in the list, Haruhi isn't aware of her powers, since the power only dwells in her subconscious. When Haruhi grows irritated, her powers are manipulated into a stronger version to create close space and celestials who could destroy the world. According to the lore of the story, Haruhi was the entity that created time travel, espers, and even aliens. But don't worry, this anime is about her adventures in the rather eccentric club she forms, and not about how she destroyed the world. Number 2. Tales of Zestria.
そういう花で追放。
Based on the two video games, Tales of Zestria and Tales of Berseria, this anime is another hero saves the world anime that passed under everyone's radar. Not unless you've played the original games, of course. The premise of this one is rather simple. You've got a princess who falls into the hands of a boy who can speak to creatures known as seraphim. Now they should rise against the dark forces of malevolence and save the world from monsters and mayhem. While this may seem like the fantasy story everyone and their mother writes about, the series has several specialties. It has a supernatural storyline that commends the anime, and of course with the studio behind all of these being ufotable, you get some cool action scenes complemented by CGI mixed visuals. Number 1. God of High School. Now, this took the webtoons by storm due to its overpowered protagonist, and it will surely do the same for anime as well. I mean, this whole anime revolves around a tournament arc. What else could you ask for? In South Korea, students in high school can compete with each other in order to become the best fighter in the country. This is what our protagonist Jin Mori is trying to achieve. But, surprise surprise, this boy has more than what meets the eye. His divine powers are explored later in the series, and soon everyone realizes this tournament has its own mystery. If you need a good martial arts anime, plus an overpowered protagonist showing who the god of the show is, then this anime would fit right into your watch list. There goes our picks for the top 10 anime where the main character is a god. If I missed anything, you know what to do. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like and show me your support. Also, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't joined us and want to see more awesome content like this. With that said, I'll see you in the next video.